Hello and welcome to Advanced Manufacturing Now, the podcast for manufacturing professionals. I'm your host, Steve Plum, Editor-in-Chief for SME Media, along with the entire all-star SME team of Amy Bryson, Carrie Gitter, Rachel Thomas, and Mike McConnell. Hey everyone, how are you doing?
Good.
Great.
Doing good.
Ready for the holidays.
Yeah, well, this is kind of our end of the year wrap-up podcast. And I know everybody's got some big plans going forward, hopefully. But it's been a big and eventful year in 2025. For starters, other than Amy, everybody else is brand new to the team. So, we also have a new name for our publication, Manufacturing, Engineering, and Technology. We have several other just behind-the-scenes people and or new roles for other people like Cameron Kirko has transitioned from associate editor to content editor for the Digital Growth Accelerator team. So exciting times. So what stood out for everyone?
Yeah, Steve, this is Amy, or you called me like the old person, I think earlier. I think I got that right. Long timer. One of the biggest things you mentioned too was a big, huge moment for SME Media this year was the launch of Manufacturing, Engineering, and Technology. And, before that happened in the summer, I was manning the helm of Smart Manufacturing magazine, and you were manning the helm of Manufacturing Engineering, and bringing those two worlds together to accurately reflect what's happening in manufacturing today. So, the super tech side of the house with the core, engineering and processes of manufacturing and the history of manufacturing really does reflect where the industry is going. And I think it was a really smart thing for SME to do, and it's been fun to work on that and figure out how to bring these stories to life through different manufacturers and different companies working together to crack the code on Industry 4.0 and how to really and tangibly make improvements in their operations, not just for the sake of technology, but for the sake of their resiliency, their competitiveness, and just being able to meet the needs of consumers and customers. So that was really a huge standout, fun project, lots of work, but it really was able to bring the team together. And the other thing for me is just working with you guys, and it's been so fun to get to know each other and kind of form as a new team and heading into 2026 with a ton of energy and a lot of great ideas to continue to tell stories that resonate with our audience.
Absolutely, Amy, and this is Carrie. For me, it was amazing to dive into this industry. I joined the team in April, and I was fortunate to have 3 consecutive months of really amazing events I got to attend. My very first week was Rapid plus TCT in Detroit. So I had an immediate immersion in the world of additive manufacturing, which was just incredible to see all those applications, particularly in fields like healthcare and medical devices, and all the ways that AM is improving people's lives and helping patients. And then in May, I attended the Automate show downtown Detroit as well. And then I followed that in June with Siemens Digital Industries Software's Realize Live Americas. And so, as Amy was saying, technology and Industry 4.0 is really kind of where things are moving. And I got to have a front row seat to so many of the digital and automation innovations that are going on and starting to permeate all aspects of the sector. So that was a really exciting way for me to dive in.
Yeah, Mike, you kind of have a baptism by fire, or in your case, rapid prototyping too. What was that like for you?
It was great. I got to go, a couple weeks after I started, I got to go to San Diego for the SME Additive Manufacturing Technical Committee's conference. And then that was a great way to learn about additive manufacturing. I mean, I knew a little bit about it, but didn't really realize it was in so many sectors, and there were so many great people. Everybody I met there was great. They were eager to talk about the industry and where it's going, and just help educate me a little bit about it and bring me up to speed. And that's one thing I really, since I joined the team back in October, I was been amazed at how broad the manufacturing industry is, and we just cover it all. Like there's no sector that we don't touch on, and that's really amazing to me, and it's really exciting.
And Rachel, I know you hit the ground running as well, both at FabTech and on our manufacturing technology series.
Yeah, I was gonna piggyback off of, Carrie and Mike there. I joke that it seems like for every new editor, like part of the onboarding is to attend an event right away. But I think that's, the best way to like really dive right in and soak up all the industry knowledge. So yeah, I started right after Labor Day, and back in September, and then not even a week later, I was at FabTech, which is what I learned was, North America's largest metal forming, fabricating, and finishing event. And that really was, as somebody who's kind of an industry newbie myself, I've had previous experience writing about, tech startups and manufacturing in my previous job, but really to be an editor, being brought into the fold, going to FabTech so soon after I started was a really great experience just to see just the show for new machineries, new technologies, and getting to, write stories on them was really a fun time. And then, going into November, I went to the very last manufacturing technology series show, the Southwest edition in Dallas. And that one was really fun for me as I did a whole bunch of video interviews, our daily wrap up videos, which kind of went into what we learned for the day, the executive perspective videos with some of the keynote speakers, and then our behind the booth series where we literally would go behind the booth, look at equipment, look at new products and everything. And that was really fun to hear, these representatives from companies across the country talk about, industry challenges, trends that they were hearing from attendees. And a lot of what they talked about, which Carrie and Amy had gone into about, was, AI and automation, how that has rapidly progressed in the industry. And a standout moment for me was when I got to interview Will Healy of Universal Robots for one of the daily wrap-up videos. And the thing I found funny during his demonstration was showing how image processing capabilities have drastically changed over the last couple of years. He showed how, if you gave ChatGPT or something like a quick prompt, I think he used Harry Potter in his example just to like show Harry Potter on the show floor doing like, or showroom, yeah, the shop floor. I mean, I'm sorry, doing some like CNC machining, and how that looked maybe even back in 2022, 2023 is so different from how it looks now, where it looks like an actual, like, oh, this is a person actually in the shop floor, but it's not, it's Harry Potter. So that was a really cool like demonstration I got to see in addition to everything else so far.
Yeah, Will is definitely an interesting guy, and I saw his Harry Potter demo at one of the earlier MT series, and it was fascinating how far the technology has come and how realistic the rendering was from just a year earlier, which was kind of rudimentary at that time. But yeah, AI is definitely a big topic. I know we've all done some stories on that, recently.
Yeah, I mean, I laugh when you say AI. We've all written stories on it. We will continue to write stories on it. And I think it's an interesting space. It's there's so much controversy around it in terms of, is it a bubble? Is it still hype? What's the practical application for the set of technologies? And as editors and writers, and being able to talk to the leaders in manufacturing who are interacting with these technologies and deploying these technologies, and are able to tell us what's hype, what's real, what's adding real value, and what not to do, I think is an exciting position for us to be in, and to help educate and inform our readers about where it is. Is it a threat? Is it going to replace us all? What's happening in the space? It's exciting. It's a little bit scary, but everybody, I think we've all had conversations with folks, and they're like, the one thing about these technologies is keeping the human in the loop is super important, which I think gives us all a little comfort, but it's, to what end? So I think that's a space that we'll continue to cover and try to make it as relevant and practical as we can, so that it's not just another quote unquote AI story.
Yeah, I want to piggyback on that, Amy, because you mentioned the human side and people, and obviously we're covering so much rapid technological innovation. But I think it's important to to celebrate the fact that there's a lot of great workforce development efforts going on out there. We constantly hear about the skilled trade gap and the workforce shortage, but I've had the pleasure of kind of having workforce development be a beat of mine this year, and got to cover some amazing programs going on. Rivian in Illinois is partnering with a community college there. Right here in Detroit, there's a great organization called Focus Hope that has a machinist training institute that's turning out, trained machinists each year. And I just worked on a story about a huge career and learning center that Textron Aviation built in Wichita. So, while AI and automation are certainly increasing their presence, companies and government agencies are still working really hard to develop that workforce, because at least for now, what we're hearing is that these technologies require higher level workers, not necessarily a replacement of workers. So we still need those people, and we need to also use the coolness of these technologies to attract people.
Yeah, absolutely. And that makes me think of another really cool project that we all got to work on, I think, to some extent this year, which was 30 Under 30. And that brings together the whole enchilada. You're talking about the phases of these young, burgeoning professionals who are doing such amazing things in this space. And it ties workforce and technology and education and non-traditional and traditional education, and kind of where everything meets to show us who are going to be tomorrow's leaders. And I know we've all had maybe some stories to talk about with that 30 Under 30 project.
Yeah, it really does run the gamut when we talk about the people in manufacturing, from all these amazing 30 under 30 honorees, several of which have already contributed articles and or podcasts with us. At the same time, we get to work with some of the other parts of SME, like the Education Foundation and what they're doing on the Bright Minds program. And I did a podcast with a mentor and a mentee as they worked their way through college and identified possible career tracks and how to make the most out of that. And that, of course we all work with the events team very closely. I was working with the executive perspective panels and listening to all the challenges in the industry and how technology is impacting them, including AI and automation, and how companies can make the most of these technologies. So, Carrie, I know you've been around, the longest of the newbies, and part of your role is doing a lot of the initial editing and entry of stories, and just working on so many different topics, like Mike had mentioned that manufacturing covers. Were you ever overwhelmed by the enormity of it all?
I'd say when I first started, I was, because I was newer to the industry, and so I didn't even know yet what I didn't know. But I've been just so impressed by the breadth of the industry, as Mike said, how many sectors it encompasses, the just astonishing range of manufacturing work being done out there by such a diversity of people and companies. And I will say that the team who preceded me and you, Steve, have been wonderful in kind of helping me get up to speed. And also, what's been invaluable is being able to visit shop floors and go to open houses and speak to companies and see what they're doing firsthand. I feel like there's work to be done at your desk, obviously in the editorial team, but there's nothing. There's no replacement for actually getting out there and seeing what people are doing, and that's been really rewarding to just visit production floors and see the machinery and see the folks working hard and just get that that face-to-face experience. I think that's a really critical part of what we do.
Yeah, I agree. We definitely want to get out and visit as many people and meet as many different organizations and experts within the industry to keep on learning, which we will have the chance to do at several upcoming events in 2026 with Rapid Plus TCT and Aerodef on tap for Boston in April. Of course, we have the annual IMTS show in Chicago in September. Hopefully, we haven't scared off Rachel and Mike and Perry about talking about how big that event actually is.
Well, I have been to my background. I was editor for a construction related trade magazine website and brand for a long time, so I'm not intimidated by trade shows. I've traversed McCormick Place many times, so I think I'm ready.
Very good. So what's everybody looking forward to in the new year?
I'm looking forward to. I was gonna say I don't think I'm intimidated either by the size. I know you had mentioned going to McCormick Place for FabTech. That was just a piece of what McCormick has to offer, but I'm not intimidated by going to these trade shows. I know you had mentioned that Steve, that FabTech was just a piece of what McCormick has to offer, but I'm looking forward to, if I get the chance to, go to Rapid plus TCT. I really look forward or enjoy learning more about the additive manufacturing and the 3D printing business. So I'm hoping that's something I get to learn more about and go to the show for.
Yeah, and I think this is Amy. I would say continuing to just talk to the people behind making all of these processes and technologies work. I think sharing more workforce development stories. We've done some really cool pieces on local companies in different markets that are finding success with maybe second chance hiring or really cool, engagements with local technical colleges and curriculum that is designed to help prepare the workforce that is needed, not just for tomorrow, but actually today. And just unearthing some of those stories in different states and different markets across the country so that people can learn from those and borrow really good ideas. And I think we have what could shape up to be a really cool feature slated for the summer, one of the summer issues of MET and for advancedmanufacturing.org that takes a look at the 50 states and kind of the state of manufacturing. So I think more to come on that from us, but that'll be a really exciting thing to work on.
So that was a good teaser to what people's appetite. Any other stories that people are looking forward to covering?
I'm really looking forward to actually innovating our delivery of stories, which is something that the media team is exploring right now. This year we've done some amazing work ramping up our digital presence, increasing our use of video, and we're revamping our website. So I think we have a great team, and we're dedicated to covering all the facets of the industry. But I think that we have some really exciting ideas in store for how we deliver that content to our audience and engage people and engage new people and just broaden our audience. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that all shakes out in the new year.
I think that's great. I like the fact that we're experimenting with all these new technologies, and as Carrie mentioned, we've been working together on some new ways to deliver content, and I'm looking forward to see what works. It's fun to test stuff.
Echoing Carrie and Mike, I really enjoy finding ways to meet our audience where it's at. I know that the print versus the digital audience probably skews different demographics, different ages, and how people consume our content. Even one of the videos, which hopefully people see soon, that we just filmed, was a fun kind of reintroduction to the editors, just to a fun TikTok trend that we've seen. So hopefully that is just a fun way for our audience to see the people behind our product and our magazine, and how we all care so much to continue delivering fun content and innovative content. So looking forward to doing that more in the new year.
Oh, great. Thanks, everyone.
Steve, wait a minute. Hold on. You don't get off that easy. What are you looking forward to?
Well, funny you should ask. In early January, I'm going to attend CES, and it's going to be the SME's first foray into the largest consumer electronics show in the world. And we're have 12 co-exhibitors with us, as well as 14 or 15 speakers at our knowledge bar. So I'm very excited to see that.
Yeah, that'll be really cool.
And if I'm not mistaken, isn't the Las Vegas Convention Center about as big as McCormick, or maybe even bigger, Steve? So watch out.
That is true, and it's multiple venues. So yeah, I'll be all over the strip. Yeah, well, thanks again, everyone. It's been an amazing 2025. I was going to ask you all which house you identified with from Hogwarts to play off that theme, but I'll spare our listeners that. But maybe as one of our innovative delivery methods, we can start delivering news by owl as well. And for everyone from SME Media, we'd like to wish you a happy holidays. We look forward to meeting more of you in 2026. Carrie, if listeners want to learn more about the latest manufacturing trends and hear more of our podcasts, where should they go?
They should go to advancedmanufacturing.org.
And Amy, if they want to be notified about new podcasts and support the manufacturing community, what would you recommend?
I would recommend that they like and subscribe.
Perfect. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.